Hey, I'm Frank.
And I'm Mike.
And our goal is to play the top 25 golf courses in New Jersey over one crazy summer, including the world's #1 golf course, Pine Valley.
But here's the rub. Every single one of these famous golf courses is private, and some have never opened their doors to cameras before.
Luckily, we've been granted incredible access to the people, places, and stories that make these golf courses so special.
So come along with us as we take you inside the gates at some of the world's best golf courses.
You know, when you're looking up the hill and you're coming away from the clubhouse, there's something to it. It's just, you kind of forget you're in a busy New Jersey area and you're in this, you know, beautiful, luscious green golf course. So it's just really fun to play.
So what's interesting about Canoe Brook is you actually have two full courses that have both been through a lot of changes in the believe it or not, 110-year history here. The North Course, which is the one that often will host qualifiers and championship events, you can tip this place out at an incredible 7,000 plus yards. And then you've also got the South Course, which is another full 18-hole golf course, a little bit different, a little bit tighter out there. There's some different nuances to it, but over 110 years of total history here at Canoe Brook.
No fade off the front.
The first hole of the North Course at Canoe Brook is 448 in that neighborhood from the back tee, and it starts you out with just a super straight par 4, and most players are hitting at least a mid-iron into that hole, if not a longer iron. Our wind is a little swirly here at the club, and the left side is full of trees, the right side is guarded by bunkers, and to get off to a good start of the North Course on #1 is a true task.
The road to Pine Valley begins. Not the tee shots we wanted, but we're out there. It starts now.
Par in the first, that's a good way to start the series.
Got a par 5, #1 handicap on the course on this side. Slight dog leg left, most of the time a 3-shot hole for sure. But who knows, maybe driver 3-wood, we get a putt. Greens are slippery so far, so should be good. Let's go.
Oh, that's me closer to the fairway, Mike?
That's you.
You got a punt.
All right, so here's the game plan. For this series, we're gonna be working off the Golf Digest list of the top 25 courses in the state of New Jersey. Canoe Brook happens to rank 24th on the list, and I'm excited to kick this series off at Canoe Brook because if that's any indication of how great the golf is gonna get from here on out, I mean, we're all in for a real treat. Just looking at it, being here, playing it, experiencing it, it just goes to show you what we have in store for the rest of the courses that we're gonna play. I mean, there's probably some states in the country where Canoe Brook would rank in the top 10. I mean, that's how incredible this course is. So Bradley, who we played with today, he came to our meetup in the winter, and we had a great conversation. We were talking about this summer and the plans that we had. We told him about this series, and he said, hey, you guys got to come check out Canoe Brook. And you know, he mentioned that they are a US Open qualifying track. I mean, that got us all fired up. They'll be doing that here in a couple weeks. So a course of this caliber, we just had to jump at the chance, and you know, we're stoked that we're kicking off the series right here at Canoe Brook.
So number 5 is a love-hate relationship with our golfers here at Canoe Brook, and for the longer hitters, it's really just an 8 or a 9 iron, maybe a 7 iron for the back tees. For our shorter hitters, it's tough to get over that pond, and you have to carry 100% of it in order to get over. There's no easy way, or there's no getting around it. You either have to hit it over the water or you don't, right? So I would say that, you know, again, for your lower handicap, fire at that pin, man, and it's a birdie hole sometimes. But for your shorter hitters, they really celebrate getting over the water.
That feels good. That's what's going to bring me back. One good shot.
That always feels good, doesn't it?
Sure does, man.
My favorite hole on this course today is probably the 5th hole. And I love it because right out of the gate, it reminds me of a very popular hole on Baltus Roll Lower, which we might be playing in this series, so stay tuned for that. But their signature hole is the 4th hole, and very similar. Rock formation in the front of a par 3 with water. Not long, not terribly long, but I'm thinking here, Mike, middle of the green. Just get the ball in the middle of the green. Let's 2-putt on these lightning pool tables and get out of here.
So the history at Canoe Brook is almost 125 years old now. The club was founded in 1901, and we had a rudimentary golf course laid out not long after that, but it really wasn't until about 1916 where Walter Travis was hired to come in and design the golf course. And there's still some Travis features here and there, but we've had guys like Robert Trent Jones, Reese Jones come in and make sure that the golf course is laid out the way that you see it today. And I would say that you know, Canoe Brook's only going to get better. There's a lot of people here at the club who are very interested in wanting the golf courses to be as good as they can be. I'm not sure we'll ever be in the top 5 here in the state of New Jersey, as the company we keep is pretty excellent. But this north course and this south course is worth a drive for anybody.
Roll, baby. Just coaching the whole way there. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, yeah. Brad, we're playing it pretty long from these tees, but they tip this place out. It can get pretty nasty.
Yeah, this tee box all the way back there from the tips. We're gonna be playing right here in the safe still, but we still got like 530, 540, so a couple good shots we get there in 2, but 3 good ones and a putt, we'll take a birdie.
What's the road to Pine Valley without a driver up and down?
Might be the first and last one of the series.
Driver, 9 iron, no big deal. You'll see a lot of that in this series, that's for sure. These holes are long.
Fuel up, right? It's about that time.
Yeah.
About that time to put some into the system.
I'm hoping we get a nice country club lunch after this up on the Falcon.
Let's just hold me over. Personally, I absolutely love fast greens. It just, I feel like I putt better on them. Maybe I give it a little bit more respect. Maybe I think more. I give it a little bit more time when there's more on the line with a fast green, but they can get you in trouble. You can miss and you can run by that hole. And these greens were quick today. There's no doubt about it. It reminds me of another course that hopefully we get a chance to play as part of this series, which is Arcola. That is a course that's notoriously often considered the fastest greens in the state. But at the end of the day, they were slippery, but they were true. So once you got your speed and you understood your speeds, it was very fair and you could go for those cups.
So number 9, a par 4 right here coming toward the clubhouse. Really beautiful hole. It's got the Canoe Brook running up the left side. And what we do for our member actually is it gets surrounded by up to 500 people, people that are playing in the tournaments, families, other golfers and alike, and it's almost like a PGA Tour event in itself, this hole. So you got guys anywhere from 5 handicaps to 20 handicaps shooting in front of hundreds of people, which we all know can probably be pretty exciting, nervous, depending how you look at it. But I got to see it for the first time last year and I was just blown away. It was so fun to see everyone just surrounding the green, applauding the good shots, even the bad ones too, and watching it all come together.
tour shot.
Let's go. Every once in a while, right?
Every once in a while.
Even a blind squirrel gets in that once in a while.
All right.
In order to play well here at Canoe Brook, I think you really have to drive the ball well first and foremost. Our rough is not particularly long, but it does get thick, and I think that controlling your spin then into a green is really important because, again, we have a lot of highs and lows on our greens. They do fall into quadrants sometimes. There's a couple double tiers here and there, and I would say that if you end up not being able to control your spin in and around these greens and then you're putting defensive all day long, it's going to be super tough to make birdies. But if you can keep yourself below the hole, you know, you can have some birdie putts out here. Attacking the par fives is definitely a big key. There's 4 on this side. When we play the big events on the south, we generally make it a par 70, and so there's a few less opportunities there. But yeah, just being able to be a little bit more aggressive on the greens is going to come from that ability to control your spin. And gosh, if you're not driving the ball well, you can forget about controlling your spin around here.
Yeah, it's all over. Come on. Yeah. Go in. Oh! Have you ever played Pine Valley?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to play Pine Valley twice, actually 3 times. And it's been an experience for me that is, you know, right up there with the other best golf courses in the world. I've been lucky enough to play Augusta. I've been lucky enough to play Marion, Cypress, and I would say that Pine Valley has this almost mythical lure about it, right? That because Pine Valley is so much more exclusive, and listen, I'm a Philly kid. I grew up in Philadelphia, and every kid in Philadelphia dreams of going to play Pine Valley. Every single hole's good. Every single hole provides just an incredible challenge. You're going to hit every single golf club in your bag, and then the staff, the folks there, they treat you like gold, and it's really a special experience.
Mike, did I hear you say this is your favorite hole?
Sure is.
Tell me why.
I mean, it helps that the first time I ever played it, I made birdie.
That does help.
I think visually, aesthetically pleasing. Nice uphill, par 4. Hit driver, wedge into the hole. I mean,
that's it.
It's not to like,
Man, if we get weather like this for the whole series.
About right.
Look, Jersey, you never know what you're gonna get. We're early, you know, May. It was cold this morning, now it's perfect. We got some summer, warm months ahead of us. And these golf courses are just gonna be pristine.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 13, I'd say in between 13 and 14, probably my favorite point of the golf course. Because, you know, you get up to the green complex on 13, and you just turn around and you see, you know, this vast land behind you. You can almost see a lot of the course, but you walk 28 steps from that point up to the tee box of 14, which you're greeted with a 200-yard par 3. But when you get up there, and if you come to Canoe Brook, do yourself a favor. When you get up on the 14 tee box, just stop, turn around, take 5 to 10 seconds, and just soak in the beauty, because at that spot on the golf course, you could see almost the entire north course and even the reservoir.
First guy to ever putt better off greens than on them.
I did. My putting stats off the green.
That's the ultimate putting stat. Accuracy off the greens and on the greens.
Yeah, what do they call it? AOG? Accuracy off.
We're creating stats for you. So just to name a few of the big tournaments and things that they've had held here is both US Open and British Open qualifiers. We've also had a US Women's Amateur here. So it's a true test of golf, especially when you bring the length in. This is a course that can be tough, and it can be a real trial by fire to try to get into some of those big marquee events. Oh.
So 16, 17, and 18 are 3 of our lower handicap holes. And if you're coming down the last 3 holes of the US Open sectional qualifying in a couple of weeks, and you've got to get through the par 4 16th at 440, the par 4 17th at 450, and then the par 5 18th at over 600 yards, you've got sort of a tall task in front of you, and going 4-4-5 there is excellent. And if you can pick up one in those last 3, you've really done some good playing. The holes are right in front of you, but the length on those 3 holes are a big challenge.
Nice. Oh, I hit it right of it, not left.
You got
So
the
that was
pace down.
user error. So this closing hole, gorgeous. Look at that, and it tips at 605, but we're not going to play it at that. But from back here, look at the teeth this thing has.
So we come into 18, and you look at this tee shot, it just looks like this hallway that never ends. Such a long hole from the back tees, 600 plus yards from the very back. And we're not that far in front of that where we're playing them today. I mean, 550 yards or something like that. And you're just looking at this meandering fairway. You can see the green in the distance. You can see the clubhouse off in the distance. And immediately you're just thinking like, wow, I'm a long way from home. So didn't put a great drive on it. Ended up to the right on the 18th hole. But in a way, it was an okay miss because it's a 3-shot hole any way you slice it. I mean, there are very few people who are gonna get home in 2. So I just hit one of my best hybrid shots of the day, just moving it up there, and that ultimately just sets up the ability to wedge it in.
It's a great shot right there.
That's the other option.
Yeah, that's how you want to close it out.
We need it. Mike and I, we don't get too competitive, honestly. Most of the time, we're just out there having fun and just really rooting each other on to play as best as we can. But in my mind, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind taking the mantle of having the first birdie in the road to Pine Valley. So although I got it pretty tight and it wasn't too tricky of a putt, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous standing over that putt, just hoping the birdie was gonna go down. That's the way to finish. Just got that birdie.
You guys, huh?
This was great, dude.
Yeah, hey, really nice meeting you guys.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Really
This was
nice.
awesome,
Really
dude.
nice
Appreciate
meeting
that.
you
That was
guys.
awesome.
Welcome to Plainfield.
In the next episode of Inside the Gates. Here comes the speed. Hit the pin!
Oh, man!
The keys to navigating Plainfield well really comes down to the short game and your putting. It's not the tightest golf course off the tee. I like to say you'll almost always find your ball after you hit it, which is one of the things that I love about it so much. It's very playable, but the protection from a scoring perspective is all around the greens.
Will it? Oh, it's a bunker! Oh my God, it's hilarious.